Hello everyone, welcome to the JCast Network. I'm your host, Herman. We're here at the Birthright Israel Alumni Community Bar and Bat Mitzvah Celebration. This program gives the opportunity to young Jewish professionals to learn more about their Jewish identity. Let's take a closer look. A bar or bat mitzvah is an incredible experience. And when you're older, you have a different type of experience. When you're 12, 13, it's unique. Tell us about your program.
So we found there's a lot of people who went to Israel on Birthright, and when they returned, they felt they'd missed out because they realized a lot of the people in the program had a bar mitzvah when they're 12 or 13. So we realized there was a gap in the market, and these people, although we explained to them it's not an event, it's a time, getting a bar mitzvah, they wanted to have that. They felt they missed out. So we created this program for them, and this is the 12th one. We've had hundreds of people go through the program. It's a 2-month course. We learn everything there is about Judaism. It's like a one-on-one of Judaism with Hebrew reading. We go to a synagogue. We've been looking at Torah, taken to a Jewish home, learn about Jewish holidays, learn about Israel. We really make it into a full program for them. And they finish this with this beautiful program. And we have people coming in from all over America and the world. People from Venezuela flew in as well, and Brazil, to see their children, grandchildren, and cousins. And this really consolidates it for them. And for them, the message you keep hearing is that, we're the lucky ones. Because 12 or 13-year-old is dragged to their bar mitzvah, but we chose it. So it really is an amazing, positive experience.
And you use the word launch party, because I think that's a wonderful way to describe a journey.
Right.
Where it's not, when I got my bar mitzvah when I was 13, I was like, all right, done. And then
right.
This is it's really the beginning for a lot of people.
So one of the themes we push is that this is not the end. Many people get the bar mitzvah, it's a graduation. When you graduate from high school, you don't go back to high school. Graduate from college, you don't go back to college, but you graduate from the bar mitzvah program and you're starting off. And one theme we keep telling the people is that this is the beginning of it. This is just getting your feet wet, and we expect them from past programs. We've seen it in an amazing way how they've got involved afterwards. We've had many of the students end up moving to Israel and going to study in Israel and get involved in Jewish life, communal life. One girl graduated. She wanted to do more for the Jewish world after this, and she now sends prayer books, Sidurim, to Jewish soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. And she was involved with the whole military thing. So everyone kind of grabs something they feel connected to and run with it. We've had many people who've got married. I've done many of the weddings of people who've, some even met on the program, but people who've been involved in the program, and we've been involved in their family life, and have even been involved in going to the bris milas, the circumcisions of their children. So it really starts a process of Jewish life for them, which they never had.
And I'm asking you, how has it changed your life? Now, whenever I know I've done a lot of volunteer opportunities and trying to engage young Jews, but for people who are doing this process, you change yourself in a way. Tell us how this program has inspired you.
It's inspired me in many ways, but one thing it's done for me is that it's taught me a lot about, just because someone comes from mixed marriages, which is, I would say, about 20% of the people, 30% of the people on the program as well, and also people who come from former Soviet Union. You think, they're so disconnected, what can we do for them? I mean, they really want to get involved. So it's really humbled me to realize that these people who come from those families or come from former Soviet Union, they really do want to get involved. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to be involved, they want to feel Jewish. So it's really taught me about their culture and the struggles that they go through, especially those people from the former Soviet Union, of their parents and grandparents, and how little they know about Judaism because of communism, not through choice. How they can get involved and still be very passionate members of the Jewish community.
So you are officially a bat mitzvah.
Yes.
Tell us why you decided to get your bat mitzvah today.
I found that there's a lot more meaning to it now because I wasn't sure. I wasn't ready to make that commitment when I was that young. When I was 13, I didn't know what it meant to me. But I had a lot of traditions in my family growing up, and I just constantly want to gain knowledge, and I found that it's very important to me now, so I wanted to make that commitment to get the bat mitzvah.
And how did you prepare?
Just reading. I'm always learning new things. One of my favorite things about Judaism is you always ask questions. You're always learning and always gaining experiences in your life. So just reading and talking to people and just enriching myself. That's pretty much it.
So now that you finished the program, is it what you expected, like the feeling of completion?
It's not completion, it's the beginning. I learned a lot. Rabbi Hertz invited us into his home and he talked about all the different holidays. So it was interesting to learn more about that. We had a class on Shabbat also, so we learned more about how to celebrate Shabbat and just how to express the meaning that I feel with Judaism. So it's just, I'm going to continue learning more ways to express that meaning.
So you're officially a bar mitzvah. What inspired you to go through this process?
Well, actually, I have already had a bar mitzvah in the past when I was 13, but I don't think I could really appreciate it. And it was really a good opportunity to really learn and to both meet people and learn a lot.
And whenever you're learning, you learn something that inspires you. Was there anything throughout your process that sticks into your mind now that was like a game changer?
Probably, I would say taking the focus. I think there's a common perception that Judaism is all about prayer. So really maybe changing that perception and the fact that it's much more focused on, I'd say, doing good for the world and trying to make a positive impact. That probably resonates most with me.
Oh, it feels wonderful. It's a very great experience. I feel like I've learned so much and I have so much to gain in the future just having this background now.
And when you go through your process, and obviously Judaism is an evolving thing, what was something that defined your learning?
Defined my learning. I think the focus on relationships with each other, and with God, and how you can integrate that into your life and really live a good Jewish life and take that forward into the future with you. That really kind of defined it for me, just focusing on how you want to live your life, how do you want to affect people in the future, how do you want to impact the world and yourself and your family, and how you can use Judaism to make things to make things a little bit better for you and the world in the future.
And when people say, I want to get bar mitzvah, it's not like something that you just roll out of bed and you're like, oh, it's today. What was your process?
My process, well, I heard about this program when I was interviewing for the Israel Reloaded trip, and I was thinking, wow, how much more would I enjoy this trip if I had a bar mitzvah first and learned more about the Jewish faith and about the history of it and had this bar mitzvah experience. It never even crossed my mind before I heard about this program. And as soon as I heard about it, I said, well, what a great idea. I could learn so much, and then on my trip to Israel, I'll have all this knowledge that will just increase the understanding and what I have to gain from going there. So it's really just like an anticipation of going to Israel, just have this done, and then go 10 days later, and it's going to be wonderful.
So what's next for you in your process?
This trip to Israel in a little over 10 days from now, just going to go there, experience everything I can, and then come back and just try to keep being involved in the Jewish community, going to Shabbat dinners, maybe even trying to go to Saturday morning service, which I've never done. I've been to a lot of Friday night dinners.
It's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's just the Friday night dinners are so social. It's so much fun to go to meet different people. I've never even thought about going to a Saturday morning service, so maybe I'll try it one of these days and just keep going, get more involved in the high holidays, and maybe even take more classes at JEC, because I know there's a lot more to learn in the future.
Let's talk to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about your process.
It was very educational. I really enjoyed learning about the different aspects of the religion, and it just touched me the way that they did everything visually and explained how everything works and reasons why.
I found a lot of the experience very inspiring. One of the most inspiring experiences where the rabbi spoke about miracles, and it just made it so clear how there's so many amazing things going on around us, and we're so busy in our lifestyle that we don't notice that there are miracles all around us.
And whenever you decide to do this type of program, there has to be that inspiration, that moment, a defining moment where you're like, I want to get my bat mitzvah. Not everyone wants to get their bat mitzvah. When you think about mitzvah, you're like, oh my God, it's such a long learning process. So why did you decide to do it?
I felt that something was missing in my life, and I wanted to be connected with Judaism more, and I felt that having the bat mitzvah was the perfect way.
Well, for me, being a spiritual person and also previously doing other seminars and constantly was looking for enlightenment and clarity, I felt like this was a perfect thing where it's not just something else out there, but this is something close to me, Judaism. So, and this way I can learn more about it and actually connect with it on a deeper level than just simply knowing the fact that I am Jewish.
And when you finish this process, there's like that aha moment that you have, like, wow, like I completed it, now I have my next journey. What's next for you?
I haven't really thought about it yet, but I'm thinking of maybe doing some more of their enrichment programs.
For me, I definitely want to do another seminar, and the only difference is that my husband, he already is further along in the process, considering that you can call him religious, so I would like to do a seminar where we both can join and be a part of it together.
Well, I decided to get involved in this program because I just wanted to learn more about the Jewish traditions and customs, beliefs. Growing up, we did do a lot of the holidays, but it was more about being with family, as I had said, and basically I just wanted to get the backstory behind it and be just more involved in the Jewish community as well.
And whenever you don't just roll out of bed and you're like, oh, today I'm going to be a bat mitzvah girl,
Right.
What inspired you to do this?
I think it was throughout my life I was always involved in the sense of like my mother's Jewish and we always did holidays, but I wanted to know more about it. Why do we do what we do? Why do we believe what we believe? And growing up in a Christian country is kind of like even more you have to like find yourself, something that you just can't do just by yourself on your own. So that's why I decided, let me just take this program. I'll be with other people in my own age group who are experiencing the same thing and doing it later in life and not having to feel embarrassed about it. And it was just a great experience. And each class, just learning something completely new was what really was the best part.
Was there a defining moment in your learning process?
I would say that when we discussed that, the aim for the Jewish people is to strive to do good and be good and to continue that generation to generation. I think that, you can do that regardless of your beliefs, but, I feel like it's the obligation of the Jewish people to do it. Like, we have this relationship through the Torah that makes it like, this is our obligation, this is what we're supposed to do. And so really feeling that and having community share that with you, that's what makes it, to me, just a great experience.
And what's next for you?
Next, I would say, is getting more involved in the holidays. Now that with Hanukkah coming up, I'm able to really know the backstory, really understand more why you're lighting a candle each day, and to share that experience with my family.
And what does your family think about this?
I think that my family is hopeful that I don't become Hasidic, but at the same time to be involved in the community, one day have a Jewish wedding and put those Jewish traditions into a wedding and just carry that on generation to generation, starting with my children, and to have that tied to Judaism, as it is a religion of people that have survived a lot, and I think it's important that we continue to survive.
Spends her time taking care of other people. Fortunately, she used the opportunity to take care of herself as well. She's smart, bright, and we're very happy she's part of the program. Sarah Velling, come on down. The other end, you were over there.
I'm a little bit bummed. This morning my mom gave me a Bat Mitzvah card, and I wanted to read what she wrote because I get to embarrass you too today because she already did so on the video camera today. I'm so proud of you. Your newfound dedication to the Jewish faith gives me hope that you will pass down our heritage to the next generation. Love, Mom. That's really special to me because I think that this is really what having a Bat Mitzvah is all about, to understand this piece of our Jewish faith and to pass it down. I want to talk a little bit about my Torah portions. I had two. After wandering through the desert and experiencing many obstacles, the Jewish people arrived at the doorpost of Israel, and Moses inducts them for the final time into the covenant with God. Through this renewal of the covenant, we were imparted with some of the most essential tenets of the Jewish faith. Mitzvah means standing upright. On this day, Moses stood before the Jewish people and the Jewish people stood before Moses. Together they stood as a community before God. Moses reminds us that we have a responsibility for one another, to hold up the teachings of the Torah and one another no matter what your role in society. You are standing today, all of you, before Hashem your God, the heads of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, all the men of Israel, your small children, your women, and the proselyte who is in the midst of your camp, from the hewer of your wood to the drawer of your water. This is the unity of Israel. Moses also reminds us of the practicality and accessibility of the Torah. For the mitzvah which I have commanded you this day, it is not beyond you, nor is it remote from you. It is not in heaven, it is not across the sea, rather it is very close to you, in your mouth, in your heart, that you may do it. Growing up, Judaism did not always seem accessible to me. I was not part of a large Jewish community, nor did I attend synagogue. As I got older, I longed to learn more about it, but felt embarrassed because I barely knew the basics, which I thought was eating matzo balls and latkes. How could I learn something as special as the Torah if that was my knowledge base? I feel that this portion of the Torah speaks to me especially to remind me that it is never too late to learn. Moses also speaks about our faith as a choice. See, I have placed before you today the life and the good, and the death and the evil, that which I command you today, to love Hashem, your God, to walk in his ways, to observe his commandments. I have placed life and death before you, blessing and curse, and you shall choose life. These messages seem especially pertinent on the day of our Bat Mitzvah. Today we are making a choice and affirming our commitment by standing before God and the Jewish community. Vayelech means and he went. Moses lived to be 120 years and was not able to enter Israel with the Jewish people, whom he helped to guide across the desert to the land of milk and honey. He warns the people before him that while there will be those who will break their covenant with God, that the words of the Torah will not be forgotten by their descendants. It shall be that when many evils and distresses come upon it, then this song shall speak up before it as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten from the mouth of its offspring. 20 years ago, I was told that I had to choose between attending Hebrew school and Girl Scouts. I became a Hebrew school dropout. Hebrew school could not compete with uniforms and cookies. I didn't understand why we were learning these strange-looking letters or what they meant. I was only concerned with what the letters were on the dreidel, so that I would be able to win chocolate, and that my cousins could stop tricking me, who kept changing the meaning of the Hebrew letters so they would wind up winning, maybe Charlie Sheen, more. I wasn't even sure what the purpose was until my friends started turning 13, having massive Star Wars themed parties, that I figured out that Hebrew school meant Bat Mitzvah and reading from the Torah. I began to feel a little left out and feel that perhaps because I had missed this event, this life event in the Jewish faith, that I would never feel connected to the Jewish community. Thankfully today, I am getting my Hebrew school GED. Today I feel part of the Jewish community.
As you can see, the Birthright Israel Alumni Community's Bar and Bat Mitzvah program provides the opportunity for young Jewish professionals to enhance their Jewish identity. This is Herman, and thank you for watching.